What's up, everyone? It's Joey, Blush Response, and welcome to the latest episode of Sound and Structure. Today, I'm talking to Ayarcana, one of my favorite producers in industrial techno, and also a maker of really cool stomp boxes under the name Colossus Audio. Let's get right into it. Hi, Ayarcana.
Hello.
Or hi, Arcana.
Ayarcana, yeah. Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony. How's it going?
Good. It's rainy.
You make pedals now. It's cool. Tell me about them.
Thanks. Well, nothing. Yeah, I'm just started since the pandemic. Since we had no gigs from a day to the night. So that was my main occupation by then. So nothing. I had a lot of time to lose or not to lose. And I always wanted to, I remember at the beginning with Kieran Ansem, he was still living in Berlin. So we're really close friends. So I was going to his house and he was starting to, he learned very, very fast. And at the beginning, I was helping him, with just soldering and doing stuff like this. Then he moved to Glasgow, where he's living now, and nothing. We were always talking, chatting, and stuff like this. So I was like, look, I would love to not do Eurorack, also because I play guitar. I come more from a metal background, hardcore, whatever it is. And I was like, I would love to make pedals and maybe stuff that, not simple distortions. And, the market is full of fuzz and distortion. So why do something like that? So nothing. He kind of helped me to do the first one. No, actually, the first I did, they were just shake box kind of thing. They were I don't know if you remember the harmonica morage.
Yes, I remember the name.
Yeah, which was the one with the guitar string that you could have tuned it. It's it was just a contact mic kind of thing. So there was no circuitry inside. So that was the first. And then I was like, wow, I want to, funny because I sold 100 of them, which is a lot. Yeah. And I was like, wow, people are buying this shit. So let's keep doing it and maybe make it better, maybe put a distortion in it, try to understand how to do, at the beginning I was doing simple stuff with a transistor distortion, just with really few components, just to have an idea. Then I start to use op amps, understanding. I'm still learning. I'm actually don't know shit. Compared to many others, I really don't know nothing. But are bad words okay in this?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So nothing. Karen helped me to do the impeller, which is something similar to what you have above your head. There's the Sonic Forest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had this for 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And I even forgot I had it for a minute. And it was at my mom's in Miami. And I was like, oh, Kieran is using this thing. I think I have this. And I had to go get it. Yeah.
You went back to Miami to get that.
Yeah, for Christmas, I was like, I gotta get that. Yeah.
It's a sick thing. Yeah. It's a bit different what the impeller is, because you have CV for the distortion first, so you can close and open it, which is a VCA. Actually, it's not a fuzz. It's a bit different, it can be used as a distortion unit. So if you plug a jack in, like a distortion pedal. There is a switch on the jack, so if you unplug the jack, is a noise like shaker thing, like. So nothing. I did that first, and it sold very good as well. Like a lot of people bought it, a lot of people use it. Also, Richie from Horfs got one as well. Like I was kind of happy, like of how it went. So now I'm I'm keeping designing stuff. Many of the prototypes I'm doing are not working. So
okay, why is that?
I think I'm doing. First of all, I just jumped on SMD boards. So from Through-Hole, which are the components that have those legs that you solder directly. I started already, like, which is not more difficult. It's just a different kind of thing, way to solder stuff into the board. And I don't know why. Probably I'm making like. It's not true that they're not working. Like I have one prototype now in the work, which is a double delay with a shape on the feedback, with CVs and stuff. And that's giving me hard time because there are a lot of components. So when something doesn't work, you have to trace where the troubleshooting of a big board, it's more complicated of a troubleshoot something very small.
So what type of chip is in the delay?
It's a PT2399, a classic one.
Yeah.
Super noisy. Also because like if you wanna keep it analog, either you use the chip from Electric Druid, if I'm not wrong. Which is that I don't even remember how it's called. It's a big ass IC, and that's used for longer times and longer delays. Or you just jump on a digital, which is pretty much most of the delays are, like digital.
Yeah,
delays and reverbs. As you know perfectly this.
I think the 2399 is actually from a karaoke machine or something, right?
Yeah. It's definitely not used for. It should not be put in a musical device.
That's why it's good.
I mean, it's tricky because, for example, it can. It's a very delicate IC, so it can distorts really easily if the voltage is too high and stuff like this. So you have to be kind of careful. But I'm not doing for now. I don't want to do devices that are gonna be used by like in studio for like mix music. I'm just doing them to make noise. So like, yeah, that's it.
Good. And that's perfect for my next question is, what are your goals with Colossus Audio?
Oh, well, so I started like, it was at the beginning more like kind of focused to be also sound design kind of thing. I had few good artists involved doing sample packs. I had Francesco Leali, which is a very good artist from Milan. He's a sound designer. He works for like as a sound designer for a lot of things, even National Geographic, a lot of stuff. And he recorded a pack with a cello from a guy that he works with. This cello, it's like 350 years old.
Oh my God.
And it's super fun. I'm going to send you the sample pack then.
Please, yeah.
Yeah, it's super gritty and like it's called tortured cello because it's like the sound of it. It's not very as you would expect. It's very ruined, like so. It was also like at the beginning I was because at the end of the day Colossus is just me. I have Michele Nannini, which is a guy that is helping me with the visual because I don't want to do everything, even though I have some knowledge of design and stuff like this. I don't want to do anything by myself. So it's also, I think, cool to have more than two eyes and, like, to do stuff.
Definitely.
Like
it takes a lot of work to do everything.
Yes. Plus I'm a dad now, so I have a kid, so it's taking a lot of time, especially also to design stuff. To design PCBs and like putting down the idea, then design the PCB, then it comes, you solder everything, doesn't work. So I really didn't have much time to also do artworks and stuff like that. So I involved this guy, which I really love. He's one of the sweetest person in the world, and he's helping me a lot with all the artworks and stuff. Then involved, as I said, Francesco, who did this amazing sample pack, and a few other people. So at the beginning was like more oriented to have also like, okay, let's give to people also samples that are, I didn't want to make techno sample packs, like a lot, or like electronic or modular stuff, like a lot of people did. I don't have anything against it. It's just that I didn't want it to add more on something that is already very saturated. So I was like, okay, let's do stuff. Even if we release 2 sample packs a year, it's fine. Just let's have something cool. Like there is this guy now. It's probably we're still talking about it, but he's probably gonna do it a sample pack at one point. It's called Neo Now. Is a sound designer, sound sculptor from Italy. He do these weird recordings when he goes in caves and he goes in glaciers and do recording. He's a master of this, and probably he's gonna do at one point also one. So at the beginning was like, okay, let's do both. But then I realized that even though it's not a big investment about time, but for me, because I don't have to spend much time behind it, like, because if I just get artists doing it for me, is I don't have to spend much time behind it. But I was like, okay, no, let me focus more on the pedal side of the thing. So now it's more about doing devices, doing noisy devices, but in the same time, since I'm not doing Eurorack stuff, what Colossus Audio's goal is, I think, is just doing pedals that are not on the market. And basically, most of the pedals I'm designing, they can be used by Eurorack people too, since they have control voltage stuff. I want to, to put those two words together. But of course, what I'm doing is not very, I'm not gonna do compressors or like pedals that can be used also by sound engineer and people that doing a mix or stuff like this. It's more like I want to do something that it can be used for a live act, so they're playable. They can be put next to a Eurorack systems, so send an LFO to a distortion, or like in the impeller case, you can like just slam it and do noises with the guitar strings. So yeah, the goal is to give stuff to people who have fun with making noise, basically. And nothing. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. I think you're definitely nailing it, and the aesthetic is great. I was wondering if you did those graphics yourself, because I quite like them.
So the
cool.
impeller, yeah.
Okay.
And that was the first, and they are etched.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, they're etched on the aluminum, but man, it's crazy. Etching, it's takes a lot. You work with chemicals. Your hands are getting fucked after, because at one point I sold a lot of them at the end of the day. Like, and I was thinking, I was like, I probably sold 70 of them. So you work a lot with like ferric chloride, which is super, super, super bad for the health. I was like inhaling all that stuff, and then like inhaling the aluminum too. Even if you use the mask, it's not the best. Plus, if you fucked it up, it's like the enclosure, it's kind of fucked, because either you sandpaper it, and you have to do it like it's hard. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna set it up screen printing thing in the workshop. So nothing now. The Doom Messiah, it's screen printed on it. Okay. with yeah, that's it. And the design of the Doom Messiah, it's made by this guy from Slovakia, I think. It's called Cyrus. I don't know how to pronounce it. He's a very great illustrator. He works for a lot of metal bands with Full of Hell a lot. He worked for a lot of bands, and I love this style. We start to collaborate, and I think from now on he's gonna design all of the pedals. He designed the shirt that we did, the last one, not the first. So yeah, I think we're gonna work together for the time to come. So yeah,
it all looks great. So no Eurorack. I think actually that's it's an interesting but also good decision, because it doesn't limit the device, and also it keeps you from entering an oversaturated market. I mean, I imagine the pedal market is quite saturated too, but it's more accessible in a way.
It's coming back a lot as well. The pedal, the boutique pedal market. Joy, like I had a lot of people texting me and say like, but I was even talking with Karen at one point, and Karen was like, how cool it will be to have an impeller but Eurorack.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I was like, fuck, I can actually make a Eurorack and then like a small plate with all the strings coming out from it. And then you can actually, I don't know, with a magnet or something, I don't know, you could have actually attached the plate with the strings, so you can also bring it. You don't have live with you, and you just unplug the thing, and then when you play, you put it back. And I was like, that's cool, but for now, I want to probably have, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 products out, get better with it, and then probably I'm gonna do the first attempt with the Eurorack.
You could also license it to Kieran, make a collaboration, and let him manufacture it.
We were talking about last week or 2 weeks ago to do a design together, but probably it's gonna happen end of 2022 or something. So it would be cool.
Yeah, I'm very curious. Would you say right now you're more focused on production or on the pedal designing?
That's a good question. To be honest, I kind of abandoned the techno music. I really don't feel part of it. I kind of weirdly went back to my roots, which is funny because I started to play music playing metal, hardcore, alternative metal, let's say. It wasn't really straightforward metal. But it lasted very short. Then I started to study sound design in Rome, and I just jumped on electronic music and then into techno, and I started to play around, and then I focused basically only on that, doing records and playing, touring. 2016, I toured a lot. I went to first tour in Colombia, first tour in US, and I was playing a lot. And now I feel more like it's funny because now I'm starting a new project called War on Heaven.
Okay.
I have the first album, it's done. I have cool featurings in it. I have Dylan from Full of Hell on the voice. I have Igor Cavallera from Sepultura on a song.
Nice.
Michael,
really cool.
Yeah. It's kind of was like a weird thing for me, since I'm huge fan of Sepultura since ever. Like, it was like a band that introduced me to death metal, and like, I was like, wow. I have Michael from Uniform. I don't know if you know them.
I've heard of them, yeah.
Yes. So I'm kind of happy because I'm like, techno, it's pretty much, if you see in the way I was seeing it, is you have to face a lot of compromises. Like, the music has to be playable. He has to have a structure. Not necessarily, but kind of. And I was feeling that it was like kind of oppressing me in a way. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do what you want. And I mean, the new project is kind of drony, slow, sludgy. It's very slow. Like, tracks are. I'm gonna send it to you. It's very slow. Like, tracks are like around 50 BPM. So I kind of went back to where I come from. Mm-hmm. Usually people do the opposite. They start with what they have in that moment, and then they
evolve, grow.
Yeah, with something else. I kind of went backwards, and I'm happy. I'm happy now. Like, I'm focused on production. Just to answer your question, I'm focused on production. I have ADHD, so like I can jump from one thing to another very easily. Okay, so cool. You can understand. You can follow me.
Yes. I know the logic.
No. Like, just to answer your question, like, I'm focused on production, but not on the techno one. Mm-hmm. I just do music and write music when I feel. I don't write music because I need to do a record to put out because I need gigs, like it was before, kind of, because if you don't produce techno music, it's hard to get gigs with techno music, like, and get lives or DJ sets. So now I'm more focused on what I'm doing now. Just I write music when I want to and when I have time, because like if I do a batch of pedals and I sell 15 pedals, I have to make them, obviously. And it's only me, like I don't have a builder that I work with that is helping. So it takes a lot of time. So I'm trying to balance it and do both, but it's hard. But in the same time, I'm making it. So yeah, I'm focused on both, but of course a little bit more on the pedal thing.
What's in your studio setup right now?
Oh, I can't show you because I'm in the living room.
That's okay. Tell me.
Just like to make music.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. I have a guitar. I have a bunch of pedals. I have two Eurorack cases. That's it. I don't have much. I have a sound card and a bunch of stuff that I have a cymbal that I was using with the violin bow to make noises and stuff. There is, I have a lot of small metallic things that I used to use. I'm last few months, I'm went back to basics, like just plugging the modular in or the guitar in and record a little piece and edit it and work on it. But like a year ago, I was more focused on and trying stuff. Well, the kid wasn't born yet, so I had a little bit of more time to experiment. So yeah, it's pretty basic. I don't have extraordinary stuff. Like,
Do you still have the Akai Force?
No, I sold it.
Okay. I was curious your opinion on it, but now I think I know.
So sorry, Akai. No, well, I don't think they still fix that bug of the loop. Of the time stretch. No, I don't know. I'm joking. It was. I'm gonna be honest. I was in need of money at that time that I sold it. Plus, I wasn't really into it because it was too computery a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like too big. Plus, I'm not a collector. All right.
Mm.
Plus, that's not a thing that people will collect because it's not like it's not like the stuff that you have on your right. Which I think those keyboards, those synths that are probably more vintage stuff. I don't know what you have, but
it's a bit of a mess, but it's a Quantum and a Waldorf Q. It's not my Waldorf Q though. It's Hayden's.
Okay.
I'm holding on to it for a minute, and then he'll have to fight me to get it back. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. The Quantum is mine though.
Okay. Well, yeah, you know what I mean. So. Plus, I wasn't into it too much. I don't know about. It's very cool for live, the Akai Force, but yeah, I wasn't into it too much.
It seems like one of those things that's very utilitarian. Like it can do a lot, but it might not necessarily. I mean, maybe I'm judging it wrong, but it might not be the most fun thing to do. But it's just very useful.
It's super useful, especially if you wanna if you want to deconstruct, for example, let's say that you have a production, right?
Mm-hmm.
On your Ableton project. Let's say that your production on Ableton have, 10 tracks. It's crazy because you can loop them, export them, and play them live. So it gives you that flow that you usually have in the studio, but live.
Mm-hmm.
And you can actually use stuff that you recorded in studio live, which is sick. And it's like you have a touch screen. It's very friendly. And as you said, it's very utilitarian. It gives you the freedom to do exactly, what you do basically in studio, just live, and brings you all the studio with you. Because if I'm not wrong, you can actually probably upload Ableton projects in it. I don't remember.
I don't actually know, but that would be very interesting.
Probably you can, and you know what's cool? You can actually use a lot of plugins. So yeah, it's a cool machine. I just wasn't really into it, and at one point I was not even using it a lot, because let's be honest, that's a thing that you use more live than in the studio. You will never use that in the studio.
What's in your Eurorack right now? What are you into?
Which model?
Yeah. Like, what's your favorite thing to use right now?
It's still the piston Honda, man.
I love that thing.
Yeah, that's, as you said on a video you did. It's the how you called it, the master of the
king of wavetables.
Yeah, it's true, man. Like that thing, it's insanely good. Yeah. No, I'm joking, but I mean that.
It is insanely good.
It is. I'm just got recently. I got a Rample.
Okay.
And I got Pamela Workout, the new one, which is very sick. As a utility thing, is like amazing. Like it lets you do a lot of things. Then what I'm into now. Well, I got the Kieran's filter is pretty cool.
Yes, I like it.
The grit is pretty gritty.
Yeah, shocker, right?
Yeah. Then what else? Yeah, I don't have a huge system. I have just 2 cases. It's not big thing. But yeah, still the piston Honda is, it's funny because like it really can go from ambient stuff to like, you know, your sound at the end of the day, because it's very, sometimes I'm doing stuff and I'm like, oh shit, sounds like blush response a lot.
Oh.
Which makes sense because you did stuff for them, right?
Yeah, one of the wavetable banks in the stock wavetables are mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. But yeah,
I definitely use that quite a bit. To this day. Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of stuff to use, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like, I reached a point where I was like, I can't have new things anymore because I haven't gotten so deep with anything, and so I just keep reworking on the same stuff.
Are you a collector?
Well,
do you see yourself as a collector?
I mean, I definitely have a collection, but for me, it was more like a research thing. Like, I want to use a 90s sampler because I've never used one. What is it about? Okay, so I use the Akai. Now I have to use the EMU because how is the EMU different? And, you know, I want to use an FM synth. Well, I use the DX7. What is the SY77 like? And I just kept going through everything.
Okay, so your collection comes more from a research, you know, because like there are a lot of people that they just buy.
Yeah.
For the sake of buying and fill their studio with stuff, which I don't judge. I mean, like anybody can do whatever they want. Like, it's just wanted to see how's your approach. But for example, I buy out of necessity. Like, I wanted a granular sampler. I had not so much money. I was hearing stuff. You know, I was like, okay, let's get the nebulae from IQ. No, I would call Qubit.
Yeah.
Okay, no, let's get a rample. So, you know, like, if I need something, I get it. That's why I have a small system.
I mean, that's good though. It's focused. Like, small or big doesn't matter. It's the ideas.
Yeah. And you know what? I use all of the models I have. I use all of them in the same time. Like, you do the same, I guess, even if you have like a huge wall of models. Karen too. Well, Karen have a lot of them, so it's kind of pretty hard to use them simultaneously. But yeah. But you know what? I'm investing more money on Eurorack recently. Like, as soon as I have spare money, like, I'm just buying a model.
Could you maybe actually just send me, if you want, some photos of your modular system, and I'll just put them right on the screen if you want to share it.
I will definitely.
There's so much in my system that I even have some stuff in boxes, and it's like I just try to narrow it down every time I use it. Like, today I'm using this with this and this, and that's the track for today. And then I try to spend, like, if I get something new now, I try to just only use that for 3 months or whatever, so that I get the most out of it, so that I can come back to it quickly, like when I'm doing stuff that I don't have so much time with, like a remix or whatever. Yeah.
I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Also because, you know, like, you dive into it.
Definitely. What kind of sound design techniques would you say you're into exploring at the moment?
That's funny. Last week I listened, like, it's very cheesy soundtrack, but the Doom Eternal one.
Oh yeah, okay, Mick Gordon. Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, it's uplifting metal industrial.
Yeah,
but there are some beats that are very, very close to techno music in a way, and I was like, oh shit, I want to try to recreate something similar to it. Whatever. Anyway, no, that's gave me a bit of inspiration, but not for the new project. I'm just trying to do stuff a little bit more. It's very noisy, the music. So I'm still I haven't left at all that side because it's something that comes from inside me. It needs to be like that. But yeah, it's a bit, I don't know, a bit more cinematic. Yeah, I'm just trying to recreate a wall of sound with like, for example, choirs. Choirs, sorry.
That's okay.
Like with choirs, layering them a lot, like at the point that you don't recognize them anymore. Like it's like just this boom wall of sound, and I'm using a lot the guitar. I'm using a lot the bass.
What's your guitar and bass setup?
I have Fender Jazz, and I have ESP.
Okay.
It's a 7-string guitar. That's it. I don't have an amp. I'm getting an amp now. I'm actually getting an orange V30, the vintage one. Plus, I'm getting an orange head. I don't remember now which one. I just reserved it from a guy on the Portuguese eBay because I need one. Because like a lot of people will tell me like, oh no, just plug it into the sound card, and I hate that. I mean, yes, but the guitar needs to be preamped.
Yeah.
I think so, like, and then you can put a mic and record that, like, but this is what I think. Like, I don't know. A lot of people use guitar straight into the sound card. Bless you.
I'm alive. Thank you.
And yeah.
I think there's definitely merits to both. Like sometimes it's just convenient to just plug in, but sometimes you need to move some air and feel the sound. And I think that adds to the performance.
Especially with the bass. I mean, man, like recently they came out a lot of cool plugins to emulate a cabinet or to emulate an amplifier or whatever. Like, so I'm using a Will Putney plugin, which is very cool. He's a good sound engineer, but at the end of the day, it's missing something. I feel it's missing something. But this is for me. Like, of course, like anyone, it's the same. It's the same. No, it's not the same because it's harder with the drum. If you use, I don't know, easy drum, and you get a really nice sound from it because you don't have to go in studio, mic all the drum set, which requires mic. Then you have to mic the room, and it's more and more. And like with a drum simulator, you can get a very sick, punchy drum. But like in studio, if you go, you need to have someone who's good at recording, someone who's good at mixing, someone who's good at post-producing a drum that has to be like punchy and compressed good. Like it's a bit different, but still the same because nowadays we have plugins that let you do that.
And then they always do sample replacement anyway.
At the end of the day, yeah. So they all recorded anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that, and I think it applies to synths as well. Is that like, if you're doing performative music, what matters is the performance, and something like an amp, a physical drum set, is going to provide you with a way different performance than programming would do or using a plugin, because there's a physicality to it. Especially with an amp, the air is just, the pressure is behind you, and that really affects it. And it's the same with hardware synths too. I think that's an under appreciated aspect.
Absolutely, yes. Like I'm using I'm using Serum a lot. I think is the most is the closest one. I don't know. I think is the one that let me have similar results I can get with my system, but my system in particular, because it's mine, like I just found that plugin to make synthesizer or like gnarly bass sounds to be the one that gives me the result that is closer to but still, as you said, it's like sometimes you need that pressure that you have.
I've heard a lot of good things about Serum, and I've touched it a couple times, but
you're not into it.
No, it's not that I'm not into it. I have this weird impulse in me that if like everyone has something, I don't want it.
Are a lot of people using it?
I just know that Serum was this revolution. Like, you had Massive, and then Serum was the replacement.
Exactly. It is. But for example, I never use Massive for the same reason you never use Serum.
Yeah. I was like, if everyone's using this, I don't want to sound like them, so I'm not going to touch it. Even with modules, like everyone gets X or Y module, I'm not buying it. I don't know why. Or if things are obviously marketed to me, like here is I don't know. I'm silly with that, but it's my impulse.
Give me an example.
Okay, like the noise engineering Manus Eteritas.
Okay.
It's dope. It's dope.
Yeah, and but everyone uses it.
Yeah, like I think everyone I knew in Berlin got one, especially us who make harder music, and I was like, I can't get this thing.
You know what's the thing? The let's say the worst side of this is then a lot of people are gonna sound the same.
Yes. Yeah.
Especially with that module. I love that module. I don't have it. It's on my wish list. But every time I played with it, I was like, "Damn, this sounds weird." And it's the oscillator one, right?
Yeah.
And that sounds weird and sounds noisy as fuck and sounds cool, But then I was listening to few production, and I don't remember who on Instagram appeared on my feed, and I was listening to it. Without paying attention, I was like, damn, that sounds like that module. And it was that module. So, I think it's a very, it gives a very, it's super hyped, and a lot of people are going to sound the same like that, I think.
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with people's approaches. I'm not going to name any names, but it's that people just, they hear the sound or that thing, and then they buy it and just do the most basic stuff with it. And people don't take it further to really find the unique sides of it.
Yeah, because I guess you can do a lot, as you can do a lot with any oscillator out there. Like, it's an oscillator, so you can really do from percussive things to bass lines to drones to, but for example, that module in particular, for me, I always saw it used as a percussive bass line kind of techno thing, all the time. Like I can think of like maybe 10 producers I saw or heard using them in the same exact way.
Yes, exactly.
So I get you, yeah. And I get you why you don't want to buy it.
Oh, well, I do have it now because I went to visit Noise Engineering and I told them this, and they were like, "You're a fucking hipster." And I was like, "Okay, I'll get it, I guess."
Which you're not, I think. But
I mean, they were fucking with me. It was funny, but
yeah.
But
you went to Superboot?
I did go. Yeah, I did some coverage of it this year. But this that I'm talking about was a couple of years ago.
Did you play?
I played Superbooth. Like,
no, I remember when you played in Superboot, but I'm asking you, did you play this year?
No. I didn't play this year.
Okay.
I was just hanging out and covering it. I, did some like video jams on the various gear, just showing it off, and then like also talking about what I saw that was cool.
Man, yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
Did you posted that?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I completely forgot, man.
It's all good.
I hope to go to Superboot next year with my stuff. That would be nice. We were talking, me and Karen, and like saying like, yeah, we can get a stand together, maybe. That would be nice. Like I definitely need more products.
I mean, do it. It's a good thing. There were some companies there that only had one thing, and they had, as long as it's a good thing, people are gonna get interested.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That brings me to my next question, which is, what do you feel is missing from your setup? Is there anything you're looking at?
Can you give me 1 second? I have to get the charger.
Yeah.
My phone's the last charger.
So yeah, is there any gear you're looking at?
What? Sorry, again?
Is there any gear you're looking at that you want to get? It's on your mind, or software or hardware? Yeah.
It's a good question. I would love to get, my next thing is going to be, as I said, a cabinet. And because I really feel the necessity to get one.
Mm-hmm.
So head and cabinet, that I'm getting it. And then I was thinking that I would love to have an Electron. I don't know. I feel the necessity to have, I have a sequencer, which is the nerd sequencer, which is cool, but it doesn't give me all the, I'm not really, yeah, I see it. Do you like it?
It's very useful. Sometimes I get a little frustrated programming it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only issue I have with it, which is not an issue because it's just the time you spend more with it. But I think I can get maybe another sequencer, or I was thinking an external machine, like it can be an Electron, or just to don't have everything Eurorack, maybe. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe an analog 4, or what you think about the? I forgot the name, man. I'm bad with names. The poly, how it's called? The polyend.
Polyend. Never used it.
Because they did the new one. I'm playing with my son toys. Because I saw it a lot recently, and they did this new one, which is like same as the nerd sequencer. The how it's called the
tracker.
Yeah, the tracker. Yeah. Which I'm not really into it, because it's like, as you said, frustrating programming it. Like it's like, maybe it's not very intuitive, let's say like that. So yeah, I was either thinking, because I actually also hope to perform live with a new project soon. It should be with a drummer too. It should be me on the electronics, voice, and guitar and bass, or only guitar or only bass, and a drummer. So I think I will need something to play songs, because it's not very jam. Like it's I don't want to have it's not going to be like a jam session or more improvised. Like it can be a live set, like a techno live set or something. Even if you probably go preparing stuff, then you can end up following the flow, it can end up very diverse. Like, I want to still be able to perform the songs I'm putting out as a song. Actually, also because the songs I'm putting out are going to be 2-3 minutes. Even if I'm going to perform them differently, but still I want to be able to do that. So, probably what I feel necessary to get it now, it's something that, aside from the amplifier that I was talking before, is maybe something that's going to let me do that. So play songs. And for that, for example, the Akai Force will have been the best.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Yeah.
You can always get it again.
I can always get it again, yeah.
But I know the feeling like you don't want to buy the thing again. You want to buy a new thing.
Exactly, which is hard to find something that is going to let me do that.
Yeah.
Well, not really. I mean, I can also do because at the end I have a beatbox, the micro one, and you can also put the drum tracks in there and play the full song directly, just pushing the touch. But that's not fun.
I've seen some techno performers with giant modulars just doing that.
Oh, wow. Don't tell me.
I'm not going to say who.
I mean, you're going to tell me who, but
I'll tell you privately.
Oh, of course.
But I was like, damn, that's a sick system. What's in there? And I'm like, oh, it's got this thing. And then I'm looking, I'm like, did he just trigger a whole track? He just triggered a whole track. Fuck.
Wow, that's so lame. Wow.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean,
watching from the booth, mind you. Anyway.
I mean, at that point,
just do a DJ set.
Yeah, absolutely. You're actually doing a DJ set with an ear.
Yeah, it was a weird thing. But I want to talk about your records, because your most recent ones are Cheap Rents and Haunted Houses and Laminator.
Yeah.
And I quite like both. They're brutal, intense.
Thank you.
Tell me about them. Like, were they made at the same time?
Oh, they old, right? I don't even remember because
2020, that year everyone forgot.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't remember them. No, I like both. I like both. They were made. No, Laminator. It's probably was made in 2018.
Okay.
That was Kieran's favorite track for years, and he was like, "Man, we should release that. We should release that." He played that track for forever. I remember, and at the end, I just added 2 more tracks to it, and they released it on Slam.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Perk as a remixer. I think that's a very solid release. But yeah, no, that was older. So basically, Laminator was very old, and then I added 2 more to do an EP and release it. And Cheap that's a bit newer. That was made and sent to the press, and that's it. And I really love that one too. Yeah.
How did your approach evolve between the two of them? Like, what were you doing on Laminator? What were you doing on Cheap Rents?
So Laminator is I think 100% made with a laptop.
Okay.
Like, there is no hardware involved, like nothing. Even the synth, that synth, like the kind of bassline synth is made with, I think everything is made. Yeah, everything. There is the Ministry voice that I sampled.
Is it actually Ministry?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, yeah, I think so. I think it's Psalm 69.
Okay.
I I don't remember, bro. Like it's that track. It's like probably 4 years old. While Cheap Rents is mainly, except for the kick drum, it's mainly modular.
Okay.
That's definitely the piston on there.
Okay.
Super edited, of course. Like that's what I was telling you. Like with the new project, my post production is very small. Like I do very small things. I don't spend too much time, except for the mix side of the production. I don't spend too much time editing, gluing together stuff. And while when I was making techno, was like there was a lot of much time spent on making, like, you know, like I was usually recording like as probably you do, as probably most of the people do, like 10-20 minutes of jamming with like just bass line, for example, for 20 minutes jamming, and then I was like going and cutting and pasting stuff and until I was having like a nice loop, and then, you know, like it was more like that. So yeah, those are the difference between the two.
I want to talk about your distortion in your production. What are your favorite distortion tools? And did you use your own pedals on Cheap Rents?
No, because it was not out yet.
Okay.
The Capitator, man.
Great choice.
The Capitator everywhere on the master. No, I'm joking, but like, yeah, well, usually
why not?
Usually parallel distortion with the Decapitator. Trash from Isotope.
Okay.
But it's too, I'm not a big fan of Isotope, if I have to be honest. They're really sounding too plastic. Sound toys are the best for me, I think. I got all the collection. They were like super discounted like last year for a month. So I got all of them. And yeah, I'm using I'm using the Doom Messiah a lot now on the new productions. I'm doing an EP for Brutal Budapest.
Okay.
I'm doing it since a year, but I was very uninspired until like few months ago, so I started again. And I'm using a lot the pedal with a modular. That's also another thing. Exactly, like I like feedback distortions. The Doom Messiah is a feedback distortion. Like you have the Messiah knob, which is the feedback, and I couldn't find anything on pedal. Like, yeah, on Eurorack it's full. There is like, I even have the Casper instrument and Bastille. That's a feedback distortion too. But on pedals, because, you know, it's something that guitarists or bass players, they will never use. I mean, or better, yeah, they would, but it's not a classic pad distortion. You know, like it's very noisy. There is the feedback entering as soon as the signal it's going down with the volume. There is the feedback. So, and also have this. Well, you know how a feedback distortion works. So
yeah.
That's why I did a feedback distortion, because I was like, I can't remember and I can't picture any pedal feedback distortion pedal. I don't know. Maybe I missed it out. Maybe there are.
Isn't I'm thinking of the Death by Audio. Maybe it's the Absolute Destruction. It's called. It has like a feedback loop jack.
Okay, so maybe okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it have.
There's one pedal of theirs I know that has a feedback loop or is a feedback loop, but I can't remember the name.
I missed it. Okay.
But it's okay. You made a cool one. So
No,
whatever.
I know. But I had that CV,
Mm-hmm.
which like also another thing that most of pedals don't have.
Yes.
There are out there pedals with voltage control, but like most of them they don't, because obviously a guitar player rarely use, unless they want to use express volume or express stuff, which is cool.
Yeah. Adrian Bellew.
Yeah. Great. Nothing, whatever. It's just that I was in like, I was thinking, okay, so let's do it because I will use it. That's another thing. What I will, I want to do what I would use. That's probably the main thing for me making pedals. Like now with the double delay, I was like, oh, let's do this double delay. Everything started with kind of copying the design of music from outer space, which is actually the first book I read about analog synthesizer and how to make circuitry and stuff like this. And this guy made an eco control voltage eco, and it just was like, okay, let's do two. So one signal splitting in two delays, and then mix them back together. So you can, there are a lot of them outside like this. But then I was like, okay, let's put a shape on the feedback of each. So you can actually shape the feedback on each, like with a tone kind of thing. So imagine you have one signal and you can have two different sounding things in the same times, plus each time and each repeats are voltage controlled. So it can be cool,
Does it have a crossfader between the two delay lines?
No, I can have that. Thanks for the idea.
I got you one more. LFO on the crossfader.
That will be sick.
Yeah.
Or LFO plus control voltage, that too. So you can send an LFO to the LFO.
Yes.
We're gonna have a chat later.
Big brain ideas here.
Yeah. Well, like people like you that spend a lot of time with hardware are the people that get the best ideas. Because
thanks.
Well, yeah, because you got two nice ideas in 1.5 seconds. So
that's just like patches I do. I'm like, because a lot of pedals and other things are basically pre-made patches in a way,
This is how you do when you do the block of the pedal. You actually usually, I don't do that, but I've seen people and I see most of the schematics online, they are like with blocks. So like audio in, and then this, and then this, and then this, which is not the schematic itself, are just blocks of what the signal does.
Yeah.
Which is basically patching. It's like a max MSP, it's called the tool for Ableton.
Yeah.
Max
for Live.
Yeah, Max for Live. Yeah. So now, for example, I don't know if you saw it. I've been posting few videos. I'm messing around with Arduino and Tensi.
I am going to open your Instagram right now.
I'm just experimenting. I'm just experimenting with programming.
Oh, is this the breadboard? I did see this. Yes.
Yeah. That's basically a granular reverb.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool. And I'm thinking now to Right. So jumping now on the digital thing is gonna be is nothing that I need in my life now.
It's a whole new world.
Man, are you kidding me? Like, especially programming, like I'll be like, oh, like, which I'm surprisingly good. I wasn't expecting. Well, I'm doing small things. Plus, I have a guy, a friend of Beatrice, which is helping me. He's a programmer. He doesn't work with C++.
Mm-hmm.
He works with JavaScript, but apparently, as I understood, they're two similar languages. Like, he recognized some of the language, so he helped me with few issues I had, and but it's funny because it feels like a toy compared to analog. Like analog, you have to put components and like, you know, they explode in your face and like, you know, like if you do something wrong. Here, if you do something wrong, the fucking Arduino gives you an error.
Yeah.
That's it. And it doesn't work. So I was like, plus you have analog inputs, digital inputs. If you want to put just a touch, push button, it's just so easy, man. Like, and I was like, but I guess this is with Tenzi and Arduino, which is a bit limited. What I was thinking, it was like to start to study SMT32, which is the microcontroller, most of the digital modules or pedals too, because man, like all of the reverbs, it's impossible to go reverb analog. It's like impossible. You can use two PT 2399 with a very short time to try to emulate, but still you're gonna have the feel of the echo.
Just make a real plate reverb. When I did that session with Merlin, the drummer, in the studio, they had a real EMT 140 plate reverb, and it was like the size of a wall.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, let's send everything through there.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, like at the end of the day,
that one that's like poster size, a plate reverb.
And sell that, imagine.
Yeah.
Like that would be cool, actually. I don't think there is much stuff like that around. No, but it's impossible to do, I guess.
It's
like
probably really hard.
Logistically as well. But no, like I'm just realizing that digitally, like the digital aspect of building pedals, it's less limited, but it's also less fun because of course you have to code and to program. So, but in the same time you can do, for example, the double delay I'm doing now, which is analog, I can do in 5 minutes. Like literally I can do it in 5 minutes with Tenzi and Arduino. Exactly the same. The hassle then it will be like to figure out, if I do it with Tenzi, to figure out a way to not put an entire Tenzi into the pedal, because like an entire Tenzi will cost $30 each, which is going to be super expensive. So this will be the only problem, is to convert the digital to analog and vice versa. So let's see. Anyway, I'm starting now to learn a little bit, because at one point I'm definitely will love to do some digital, especially maybe a granular reverb.
Those are two words that are music to my ears, man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
With maybe some voltage control, like a room size and the freeze and the pitch of the granule. Yeah. Of the grains, yeah. But for example, that's done almost. I even added CV. So like it's very easy. You just have to be perfection because there are probably a lot of issues, especially distortion, signal clipping that you don't want. But yeah, I mean, that could be the next year project, granular reverb.
Well, I'm definitely curious about the result. I want to bring it back to production a bit. What are your favorite mixing tools in or out of the box?
Interesting. I use a lot of fuck, I forgot. Wait, I have Ableton open. I use a lot of Fab Filter stuff.
Good choice.
Yes, so the Pro Q is probably one of my favorite, and I'm using now this. So my studio is not the best sounding room. I actually, it's the worst fucking place I ever heard. Like, yeah, sounding wise, it's horrible. Like, it sounds shit. So I have to, most of the time I have to mix with headphones.
Okay.
And I hate doing that. I don't like it. I like to feel the pressure, as we said before, like, because that's what, for me, the music it's about. You know, like, yeah, I'm super sure it's the same for you.
Yeah, I fucking hate headphones.
Okay, cool.
And I even though I do it sometimes, like, you have to crank it so loud to feel the same kind of energy that you end up like completely deaf after, and it's bad.
Yes, and actually I find really hard to get that with the headphones I'm using, which are the man, today I'm bad with names. Like, I stopped smoking weed, so that's why probably.
Oh, you gotta activate your weed memory.
Yeah. Tell me a few brands of headphones.
Bayer Dynamics, Sennheiser.
Yeah, I have the Bayer Dynamics, the 900, if I'm not wrong.
They're open back, right?
Yeah, they open.
Okay, that's at least better.
Yeah. But I have difficulties to have the pressure, exactly. So I'm using this tool as well, which gave me a good. It gives me a good, like, bypassing it and activating it. It's let me understand better, especially on the bass.
Sonarworks?
It's Submarine, it's called.
Okay.
I think it's from Waves, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, what's it called?
No, sorry, it's from Organic Resynthesizers. No, sorry, it's from Waves. I think it's a collaboration with something. It's called Submarine.
Okay.
And it brings all the lost, like, bass frequencies that you can't really hear. Like, it gives me, when I work with headphones, like, a better understanding of where the low, mid ends are ending. Because especially what I'm bad at mixing. I'm the worst. Like, you know, there should be people doing that. I'm really pro people who send their music to mix to a studio, like, or to a sound engineer, like, because it's, first of all, it can be seen bad in techno music. It can be seen like, oh, you're not able to mix your own music. But for example, I don't think there is a band, for example, in hardcore or metal or whatever, that they mix their own music and they record their own music. but whatever. There are people like, probably you're very good at mixing. Kieran, for example, is very good at mixing. I know many people that are very good at mixing. I suck, for example. I know. So I have always this problem to have muddy mixes and to push a lot low mid range, like let's say from 500 hertz to 130. I fucking push them, man. And at the end of the day, they sounds more powerful, but at the end of the day, they're super muddy. So this tool, that Submarine, it gives me, you know, like, it let me understand what I'm doing better on those frequencies. So like, yeah, for now it's, I'm using a lot that and the Pro Q from FabFilter. So those are my two favorite tools, which are not even tools. And those two. And the Pro L, if I'm not wrong, from FabFilter. I put it, I use it even for the pre-master, final version, pre-master on the master, which is a limiter, which people will tell me like, are you crazy to use a limiter on the master? No, I'm not. Like, it sounds better. I don't think there are rules.
Yeah, I always think it's kind of funny too, because you're trying to make a mix and then it's going to be limited anyway. So like, in a way, you have to mix for the limiter that you're imagining the mastering engineer is going to put on, you know?
It's the same, no? Like, if you do it or someone else will do it, it's the same. Yeah. And if it's and you know, bro, like, let's say this straight. It's the music. It's your music.
Yeah.
It's have to sound good for you first. And of course, for the person who's releasing it, obviously, because it's their labels or whatever. So, but firstly, it's you're the artist, so it has to sound perfect for you. So any tool you're gonna use to achieve that, use it. Even if you have to use the decapitator on the master, like there are no rules there, like, at all.
Yes, agreed. It should be more experimental. Like, I find you mentioned this before, that techno music has a lot of requirements to get released, and the mixing is a lot to do with that. And there's always a struggle, in my case, between like, I'm an artist and at least in my case, I've had trouble with labels like, oh, this is too hard to DJ. This is different. I don't play this kinds of tracks. And it's like, are we making art here, or are we making something for X DJ's DJ set? Because I never woke up in my life thinking I want to make a track for this DJ. Like, you know,
that's the compromises I was talking about it before. Like, it's like,
and it's in the mixing too.
It's mostly structure.
Yeah.
BPMs, I guess. Like, for example, I love doing slow techno stuff, like kind of sludgy techno, like 105 BPM, 90 BPM, but like 4/4 kick, but slow. I did few releases, one on Keepsake's label too, one on Veil. Man, people played that shit at 145. And I got told once, like, why you do that? That's not playable. And I was like, fuck off. Like,
yeah,
what? That's music. I didn't make that to let you play that. Don't play it. Simple as that. Don't play it. I don't want you to play it. And I don't want you to play it at 145. Like, it's you know? Or I'm wrong. Like,
no, I'm totally with you.
Also because it sounds horrible. Like, you can literally hear that that's not supposed to be like that. You know, like, I'm like,
oh man, yeah.
Especially in techno, there are so many productions. Why you have to pick up mine that is so slow and speed it up? Like, you can choose between, like, there are probably every day 100 tracks being released.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a real disconnect with the really pretentious artists like you and I, and the people who want to make stuff that fits in the club. And since we're so pretentious, we're like, I'm making art and I don't want this, I don't care. And then the DJs are like, but we need to play something.
This could be a very good meme.
I hope. No, I hope not, actually.
No.
No, but yeah, I always get so pissed off. Like I didn't make music so that, you know, it could fit in a DJ set. I want it to be something more. And then it's also like, but it's nice to hear it in the club. So
yeah, but you know, like especially tech labels that are focused on techno music,
yeah.
They will tell you, all right, man, like, so to produce 300 copies of this, it cost me 1,500 euro, around something like that. I have to sell them. If I don't sell them, I don't get the money back I put on the record. And this record will not sell if there is not at least one playable track. And you will be like, all right, so like we're making products here.
I mean, I'm fine with making bangers. I like making a banger here and there.
Absolutely.
But not every track has to be a fucking banger.
Exactly. Yeah. And people are, I just realized also in techno music, it seems I'm against techno music and I'm speeding on the plate I hate for like years. I'm not, guys. I love you. I miss partying a lot as well. I'm just, probably it's just I'm about to be 33 and I'm a father, probably because of that. But I realized that there are a lot of steps and a lot of things to follow if you want to do something. I love making bangers too, but I also realized that it's a very like restrict music in some ways. Like then of course there are a lot of cool, like for example, one person that doesn't really follow that, and he really made he really made it because like he have a huge fan base, people understand what he does is KRTM, which his production are always a roller coaster. Like his production are techno, and then are a bit hardcore, and then are like super cinematic weird stuff, and then they're like slow down. Like if I remember right, like I don't listen any of his productions since a long time, but if I remember right, we did also a track together. He stayed at my place in Berlin for a few days. Actually, if you've seen this, call me, because you kind of vanished. No, but I'm joking. Like, but yeah, like there are few exceptions. But yeah, most of the techno music out there are like very repetitive, which is what techno music is all about, probably.
I mean, I also want to clarify too, like, I love techno. That's why I'm in the scene and I was making it. Like, I really love techno. Like, I've been listening to Surgeon all weekend. But it's frustrating at times to try and grow. And
but for example, you are also one of the artists as well. Your music and KRTM music are very different. But for example, you are also one of the artists like that thinks outside the box.
Well, thanks.
And when I listen to your music, it's like, oh, that's nice. You know, like this is cool. Like, you know, I'm not gonna skip it.
Well, thank you. That's good to hear. Sometimes I wonder if it's to my detriment because I always hear like, I can't play any of this. I'm like, oh fuck.
Which is cool. If you can play it, you're doing it right. No,
yeah.
But well, also because, you know, you're not a DJ, or better, you probably are. But I don't know.
I've definitely done some DJ sets.
All right, fair enough. But I don't know you because of that.
But I consider myself more of a producer than a DJ.
Performer as well.
Performer,
like yeah, you know, like I don't know Blast response for his DJ sets. Or better, I never saw you DJ set, and we played together once or twice. I don't remember. But no, I mean, I know you because of your life, and I know you because of your productions. I don't know you because so maybe it's also that change for you, the fact that you produce in that way, because you're not thinking, oh, what I will do with this track if I'm gonna DJ next week and I can't play it. So like you're gonna be like, oh no, I can perform this. Oh, I can even make it weirder because it's gonna fit on my live set. I can do whatever I want on my live set. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to have some fun with the sound,
Yeah, and you're doing it.
Well, thanks. I also think that of your tracks, that's why I wanted you on here, because I like your contrarian approach to everything.
When I can, I do it. Yeah.
Actually, I think we nailed all the questions here.
Okay, goodbye.
Yeah, it's done. We're done.
It's done. We're done. I have to order some McDonald's here. It's done.
Oh man, I ate so much Taco Bell when I was in Portugal.
Oh yeah, because you don't have that. Well, it sucks though. Here it's horrible. In US is better.
Yeah, food is better in the US, but in general it was like a nice thing because you can't even get Mexican in Berlin.
No, right?
Yeah. And oh man,
you ever been in some cool Mexican restaurants in Berlin?
I mean, now there's a couple ones that are good, but it's
with Santa Cantina. No, how it's called that one?
That one was all right, but there's another one, Sandunga, I think it's called. But in general, I think what's missing is the fast food taco truck type of vibe, like
the real LA one.
Yeah, when I lived in New York, dude, there was a taco truck on the corner of my block every day. Fuck. I had and Chipotle across the street. Like that was my life.
Yeah, man. For me, the best food is the Italian one, but obviously, but
I love Italian too. Yeah.
But right above Italian, there is Mexican. Like no bullshit. Like Mexican is one of my. I've been in Mexico too. I played and I stayed a week in Mexico City, and all the fucking cabeza tacos are like mind blowing. But all the Mexican food in general, like how it's called, the beer with, I forgot the
Tecate, Dos Equis.
No, the
Modelo?
beer. Huh? No. The beer. It's a drink, man. Man, today I'm the worst.
Mezcal? It's not a beer though.
It's a drink made with beer and tomato sauce. Come on.
I don't know actually, because I'm not much of a drinker.
Wait, Mexican beer. It's like it's impossible that don't know. Well, anyway, Michelada, man.
Okay, I've never had that actually.
Yeah, it's like mind blowing. It's usually made with Modelo, like lemon or lime, tomato sauce, and around the glass there is like salt and chili.
Okay.
And anyway, Mexican food is one of the best.
I like Mexican food as much as I like synthesizers.
How's the food in Miami?
Miami has great food. I love
because there is a lot of Cuban.
Yeah, there's Cuban, of course, and that's me. But also
you're Cuban, no?
Yeah, 100%.
Like Dave Lombardo from Slayer.
Yes, I'm so proud of him, and Al from Ministry.
Oh, he's Cuban too?
Yeah, he's born in Havana.
What do you think about Cuban socialism?
Oh, I'm not doing politics on this podcast, dog. We can talk about it privately.
Okay.
But let's get back to that later.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear from someone from there. Yeah. I think Otto von Schirach is Cuban.
He's a Miami Cuban as well. There's quite a few of us around. I think I've heard Maceo Plex is a Cuban dude from Miami.
Okay, he's the house DJ, no?
I don't know much about him, but someone told me this. Yeah.
Okay. I think he's a big star DJ, something like that.
Yeah. I figured it was, something more, just techno or tech house or something. I don't know much about him. But yeah, man.
Do you like Florida?
Yes, I love Florida. It's a crazy place, and it has this reputation for having weird stuff happen and strange people and all.
Yeah, I know. But I would love to visit it now.
That's how you get someone like me, someone like Otto. You need that weirdness, and there's a lot of great music that came out of there. Like especially with my musical upbringing, you had Schematic Records, which is where you got Otto. It's where you got Richard Devine, Phoenicia. All that came out of Miami.
Richard Devine is from Miami?
He's from Atlanta, but he would go down to Miami a lot to hang with the Schematic crew and release with them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Like most of his albums are on that label. I did an album for Schematic, and I just released Phoenicia on my label. Check them out if you know them. They're like the Miami version of Autechre, but I mean, not like a. They're as original as Autechre. They're as innovative, I would say. They're amazing. Big influence for me. So
yeah, I'm gonna ask you for the link.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think we can say podcast goodbye and then talk about real stuff. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man.
So it was a really fun conversation. Hope you enjoyed that. If you'd like to know who's coming up next on my podcast, you can do that by subscribing to my Patreon. Peace out.